This episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com, authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of a Nok Muay. Go check it out.
Here with, so how do you pronounce your last name?
Pease, like the
Pease.
vegetable. With the
Mark Pease. Okay, that's what I thought. But you're saying people call you Peasy.
Yeah,
that's the nickname, huh?
That's just the people have rolled with it.
Yeah.
Rather than call me Mark, my real name, they call me by my surname. Just add to it.
Yeah. So you're here. We're in Ventura at Academy in Ventura too. Yep. Stopping by. Just saw you in Bangkok. Was that in December?
December the 5th, the King's birthday.
King's Cup birthday. Yeah. Right, the King's birthday. Over at the waterfront over at Asia Teak.
Yeah.
That was freaking awesome, man.
Beautiful.
It was so funny to see you guys there, too.
Well, Matt said, this guy who wants to meet you. I said, who? He goes, Jonathan from so I knew how do you pronounce it?
It's Pu'u.
Pu'u.
Yeah.
Okay. And which means...
It's Hawaiian for
I thought it was Hawaiian because I tried to have a look.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's it was cool to see your fighter perform, won by back elbow, right?
Yeah, spinning back elbow. He won the WMC Cruiserweight World title.
And what's your fighter's name?
Jayden Eynaud.
Jay Eynaud.
Yeah.
And then the week before that, right? Or was it 2 weeks before that?
9 days.
9 days before that. Yeah. You were in Japan.
No, we were in Melbourne, Australia.
That was in Melbourne?
Yeah, when Chad won the WBC
okay.
lightweight world title, yeah.
Nice. And who was that against?
He fought a guy by the name of IQ PK Sanchez. So a good stadium fighter, a very good stadium fighter, but not used to the international scene yet. So he will be a good fighter eventually, but I just felt, personally on my own, I sort of had a fight plan in place. Myself and Chad, we spoke about what we thought would work, and it worked.
Yeah.
Quite comfortably.
What was that plan?
Well, being a stadium fighter, they're going to sort of come out, as you probably know as well. Rounds 1 and 2 really are non-existent. It's a matter of getting your feel, getting your range and things like that, just seeing what your fighter's good at and so forth, and they tend to pick the game up in about the third. So I said to Chad that come round 1, as soon as that touch your gloves, I said, I want you to be on him and in his face religiously and don't give him a chance to start. So first round, you could see old mate didn't know what to do. He was trying to throw kicks, but more on a retaliation than anything else. So we felt we had 2 good rounds head start. So by the third round, when he decided to come out, Chad picked the game up again. We went even harder. And that's when Chad was landing some really good elbows and knees. So, that stadium tend to be a good single shot or a good thing, whereas Chad was 3s and 4s. And by the end of the fourth round, you could just tell that IQ, he knew he'd been beaten. He'd had enough. He had a broken nose. The left eye was closing. So he really got beat up.
He took a beating, yeah.
Yeah, he took a beating. So
Chad really wanted to show that that was his title, huh?
Well, I think because a lot of people thought that Yod would be comfortable against Chad, and I've sort of said, as I said to you in the car, I believe at this present stage at 63.5 kilos, I believe Chad's the best fighter in the world at this present moment.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can ride that success for a little bit longer.
Yes.
But once you're up there, there's only one way you can go. You can't go up any higher. You're going to have to come back down eventually, or someone's going to come out and take over. So at the moment we're on top, and we want to continue there for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I can see that happening, and just like what we're talking, what you're doing and your coaching stuff, which is like we were just talking about. I'm like, yo, can I pull the mic out and just start talking? So I really like when it comes into coaching and the structure you have. It sounds like you're saying like you have a mentorship for your coaches.
Yeah.
So we do something similar here for like people to help build them up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that way they can have somebody to be accountable to and how to build up the next generation. Right?
Yeah.
So when did you start that?
Well, I've been coaching and fighting since 1988. That's a long time.
When you started in 1988, was it Muay Thai or?
It was Muay Thai. Yeah.
And who was that with?
It was Bob Jones Karate Association were coming to Thailand down to Pattaya to Sichitong. And that's in the early days.
Yeah.
And he was trying to structure it to have a system very similar to karate, all at the front doing the strikes. But back then it worked. But then we went to a fight show and I watched a fight. And when I saw the fight, I said to my instructor, because I was a young kid at the time, that's what I want to do. He says, I can't teach you that. So myself being a very intuitive person, I decided that I'll do this myself. So I decided to start doing it myself with another guy, a young kid from school, Stephen Roston, and then lucky enough we had a guy that wanted to come and train with us who was a boxer. So we were showing him how to kick. He was showing us how to box a bit better. We started putting things together, and look, it was raw back then, but we did it.
You got to start.
We got to start, and it worked.
And you'd been to Thailand and stuff like that.
Oh man, Thailand was the first time in 1992.
1992.
Yeah, and that was probably the biggest culture shock of my entire life.
Where'd you go?
We landed in Bangkok, and as I said, with my friend Tim Dharmajiva, who's the Song Penong owner. He was involved with Fairfax at the time, but he wanted to take us to where grassroots began. So we went to a gym up in Kanchanaburi on a sugar plantation. And when I mean sugar plantation, we're talking the gym was on a concrete floor with a pillar box. The bags were old. They looked like they were about 80 years old, the bags, with big dents in them. If you didn't kick that dent, you'd hurt your leg. Simple as that. So we learnt the grassroots the hard way, But that was good because it paved the way for the future generations of, look, don't do this, don't go there, go here. And that seemed to work quite a lot.
Yeah, with, having that time back in town, how much it's changed since then. Like we were just talking about I can see on the riverfront where the King's Cup was at. To then, it was dirt roads mostly, right?
Yeah. It was dirt road. Yeah. I can remember going to a King's birthday show probably around about, it was either 1999 or 2000. Back then, it was guys like Arona was fighting, who else was fighting? Thumruck. All those guys were fighting back then on the King's Cup. And there was about 100,000 people. It was, I can't even think where it was. But it was down the river, but it was dirt. Everywhere was dirt. So it was good. But to see where it was to where it is now, it's, as I said before, the sport's evolving in a way that it's more palatable for people to watch. As I said, we spoke about at the stadiums now with a female DJ behind playing music.
Before it was frowned upon for a woman to be even close to the ring. It's like it's a big shift.
Yeah, now with a big screen behind her and she's playing music, it's like, where am I, in a nightclub or I'm at a fight show? It's
my students were making jokes about going to go tip the guys who are playing the music. I'm like, you should. Before they used to be quiet between the rounds. Now they're hearing loud music. Yeah. And it's weird to see the culture shift with that. Because it's like, this is Thailand still. This is not the West.
No.
And which you can see in Western shows. Like, it made sense. Yeah. But then you're in Thailand and you're having a Western experience in Thailand.
Yes.
In a way. But there's still these badass fighters that are here, like, the Thai fighters and stuff like that, but it has like that Western production to it.
I think because of the people like Matt Lucas, influencers that have got, and I think Fairtex and Chatri from one of, they've all come together and they've said, look, if we don't change something, it's going to fall apart.
Yeah, we're not going to
survive. We're not going to survive. And to be honest with you, I probably do believe it. Do I like what's happened? Being from the old purist form, I'm still up in the air about it. Do I like it? It's opened up a lot of doors for a lot of my fighters and so forth with the different concept, the smaller gloves, the 3 rounds, so it makes it more exciting for the fights, for the viewers to watch. The DJ between rounds, they're still hard to take, but, the guys like it, the girls like it. So is it, has it helped? Yeah, it's helped. Yeah. It definitely helped.
Yeah, but I like I said, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, because like the people that I brought over have never been to Thailand. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, it was way different. I'm like, look, there's all stuff that's covered up back here. Yeah. And it's just, I'm like still not sure how I feel about it. Yeah. And like you said, it brings more to the sport. Yeah. And more eyes on it. So
I think they've brought it to a different public. Before, like I can go there now and you'll see people there in suits, and before there was no one in suits there. Everyone was sort of t-shirts and thongs. Everyone was gambling, the whole thing. Sure, the crowds aren't as big, but they are getting bigger again.
If there was a guy in a suit, it was probably mafia, and you probably
exactly. Yeah. But now there's something, they're taking their wife out to a meal or something beforehand, then going to the fights and watching, and enjoying it. So is it different? Yeah, it's different. But do I think it's good? I'm still out to lunch. Yeah. But you can already see it's starting to grow in a big way.
Yeah. Georgia, if you want to take a seat, you can still take a seat still if you want. Yeah. Kind of with your gym, so you went full time into it. So that it was always called Strikeforce?
Yes.
Yeah, since 2016 or
full time. Yes. I think we're either, if not the longest running Muay Thai gym in Australia, we're in the top 3. But I do believe we are the longest running. I think there's a couple of ties. In Perth, Pon's gym, Pon Mark D. He used to bring he started bringing guys like Ted Kiet, Johnson Sancho, that he brought them out in the very early 90s. So it was good, real good back then. So, but I do believe I'm the oldest running gym.
Like running in a single owner.
Yep.
So, and where's your gym in Australia?
We're on the Gold Coast, so it's in between Brisbane and Byron Bay. We're on the beach, a bit like this one here at Ventura.
Yeah.
It's a tourist town, but yeah, we love it. There's a lot of gyms in the area there.
Yeah, is there like, you guys aren't the only Muay Thai gym there?
No.
Yeah. Your base is like, there's many.
If I said in a square 5 kilometres, I would say there would be probably another 6 or 7 Muay Thai gyms.
So when did that happen? Has it always been like that?
No, we'll see. In 1988, I was it on the Gold Coast. That was me. And then from there, Boon Shu came in around about 92, 93. And they were close to us in Mermaid Beach. And then he moved to Burleigh Heads. And then I moved to Burleigh Heads. And we're both in the same locations. We've been now for the last 15 years. So we've both been in the same spots. But since we've got there, now there's other gyms opening up. Like I would say a kilometre, I've got 3 other gyms in the area. But they're all teaching their own thing. I mean, I run mine's a fighter structure. We do train kids. We do train teenagers and ladies and all that sort of thing as well. But my main core is I'm on fighters, and I tend to get a lot of fighters from other gyms wanting to come into our program, to get into the program. And so, but as I said, I won't do. That's why I now have looked at mentoring other coaches, so they can do some of the things that I do, putting into their coaches. But again, accountability. I've got to be accountable, make sure they're doing that, and that they're also doing what I said they should be doing as well. That way you can put your
Pease stamp.
That's it, exactly. That's exactly right. Because I mean, some of the guys train, like one guy in particular, Matt McTavish. He used to train with me. He was a multiple Australian champion. Now he's opened up his own gym. He wanted to run a Strikeforce gym, and I thought about it for a little while, and I thought, you know what? No, because he's really just taken my name and going to grow. And it's a Strikeforce gym. So I'd rather, for him to take my name, I even said to him, I said, look, not yet. Do your own thing first and try and build your own brand. That way, then you might not want to use my name. You can use your own.
Yeah.
Because if you're coming off my shirt tails, and I don't believe that's a good thing for you in the long run. So he's agreed, but I said I will mentor you. So we mentor probably 2 or 3 times a fortnight, somewhere around there. He's asking me questions, again, with my fighter programs and stuff like that, how to monitor those sorts of things, ask me specific questions about techniques and things like that. So, we bounce all the ideas off everybody.
Yeah, and kind of going into with coaching stuff, too. You were mentioning you're going to Abu Dhabi,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So what's going on in Abu Dhabi?
My good friend who runs probably the best fight promotion over there, Hard Knocks Fight Night. They also sponsor my gym with gloves and bags and all sorts of things.
Is that the one that Kevin was just at with WBC where it's like outdoors?
That's it.
Yeah, that was a beautiful setup with the city in the background and stuff like that.
Yeah. So Matt's now on board with the WBC, and because I usually referee, I won't judge, I referee. And because they're new to the sport, most of them come from MMA background, so they don't understand the rules of Muay Thai as such. So I've got a PowerPoint coming from Kevin Noonan from the WBC, and I'm going to coach their judges and referees on how to become judges and how to work in the environment. So there's not going to be any one side because she trains with us, she won. So there'll be none of that. So hopefully there'll be none of that.
That's the goal, is to have the sanctioning.
So they have the sanctioning. So he's gone with the WBC. So I'm virtually over there working for the WBC.
Nice.
Coaching their referees and judges.
Awesome.
Plus, also taking a fighter over there.
That stuff is so important too. Like we were just in Arizona, and there's some like for the Muay Thai organization that's over there.
Yeah.
And the people from the state, from the boxing commission, came in because they have some pro Muay Thai shows coming up, and they have new officials.
Okay.
They've never done it.
Yeah.
And we're telling them about like liniment. They're like tripping, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, it's completely different, man. What you're doing is completely different. We're talking about like difference between like hooking and sweeping, and you know, like how we get them to understand what's going on.
Well, see, I'm a big advocate, as I said before. Like, you know, you coach fighters. You go to Thailand, you be coached by coaches. Who coaches referees and judges?
You have to find a mentor.
That's exactly right. But they don't really. They'll do a course and they become a referee or a judge. They pay their $150. They'll get a shirt, say they're a W. They may not have done Muay Thai. But I've always believed that, you know, what we should do, even if forget the sanctioning WMC or WBC, it should be, okay, we've got 40 judges in our region. These 40 judges are the only ones we're going to work with. And every 2 months, they should have a Zoom meeting and update skills, pass on other knowledge, and also be reassessed. And then they'll put up, say, a short video of a fight, and they're going to say, okay, what you all score this. I want to see what you scored. How did you come to that conclusion for that to be that round?
Yeah.
And so I believe that's what should happen, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of organizations. There's the one that's in Arizona. Every 2 months we do stuff. If there's a decision or a weird thing that happened, like we're on a Zoom call the next week.
Yeah, there you go.
To go through it. Yeah, there's people that are doing that now.
Not in Australia.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah. Not yet.
Yeah, the infrastructure. Well, look, some are doing it, but I believe it's a monetary thing because WMC, they were doing a course and it cost $150. You get a shirt, and then each region they'd go to, they'd get 30 people there, and so they make good money. So rather than that, I thought, well, hang on, you've already got 10 guys in there. Why don't you just work with that 10
and develop them
further, rather than but it's all about getting the money, unfortunately. So I don't believe that's a good thing. But now, as I said, you're doing it here in Arizona, which is, I'm not sure how many states across is that.
Yeah, it's just the next one over.
Next one over. That's a good thing. So if they're working in that group, so that way then when I go to a fight show, if you go, okay, who's on board? Yeah, okay. Okay. Right. You need to do this a little bit better. So he likes boxing a little bit more, or he likes, you just know what the judges, you know what they're looking for, because you go to a fight show, and even at my fight show, I have the same judges each time. So what we do with the group of guys, so once they've all weighed in, I'll get the coaches and the fighters to come, and they'll talk to the head judge. Now the head judge will say, okay, this is what we judge on, and this is what we're looking for, and this is what we're going to base our opinions on. And if you have any problems now, please put your hand up and let me know. No, everyone goes, no, we know what you're looking for, so that's working.
That's where we have to fight. That's how we have to fight.
That's how we have to fight, So, but then you'll go to some places and you'll think, hang on, man, my fighter clearly when they fight, you've got two judges given at 47-48 against us, and he's got 45 to 50 against us. Something's wrong here. There's a problem there. So the inconsistencies, they're not adhered to quite quickly.
It makes me happy to understand that the U.S. isn't the only place that has this problem.
No, it happens. Yeah, it happens. Look, don't get me wrong. I mean, I always told my fighter, as you probably do, don't leave it to the judges.
Yeah,
simple as that.
It's always better when you
don't leave it to the judges.
Make it very clear when someone's on the ground.
Make it clear.
Not.
And if he's not getting up or she's not getting up, you've not left it to the judges, so you've won. So, and they can't take it away. But so that's where our problem lies. I believe that's where the problem lies. The infrastructure of refereeing and judging, especially in Australia, it's not. It's more prolific to be a fighter rather than being a referee. Or a coach. Yeah. But, I want to be a Muay Thai judge. You can be a soccer referee and things, but to be a Muay Thai, they don't get paid a great deal. They do get abused,
Oh, yeah.
My fighter clearly won the fight. How could you, hang on, man. Be calm, relax. Just talk via a newsletter later on. If you've got a grievance, let them know, but don't come up to them at a fight show when they're refereeing and judging, because all of a sudden that judge then starts to become a little bit, a little bit of anxiety sets in. So so most people can understand that sort of thing. But look, we're in the heat of the moment. I haven't done it. I've gone close to doing it. I'm not going to lie, but I've never woken up to a judging table and said, well, hang on, how'd you score that? It's just the infrastructure's got to change. Once that starts to become a lot more, like you go to Thailand. when people can understand the judging in Thailand, because some people don't understand how to, because when you think, oh, he's won that. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. You know, why? And then they'll explain it to you, and you think, right. But then you think, that's right. But then you're looking up there, and then the judge, all the gamblers are think, okay. So then you can understand the judging criteria. But most times you can go to a stadium, and each judge, it'll be 46, 48, 46, 48, 46, 48, winner, Sidang. Do you know what I mean? They'll get it straight. They'll get it right.
Yeah, it's very good. We were talking about TV Channel 7. So I was there one time when the score was not correct. Yeah. And the gamblers were very much pissed off. Yeah, yeah. And I thought there was about to be like.
Is that when Matthias fought?
No, this was like in 2010. Okay. Yeah, 2010. It was like my second time there. Yeah. And they came back in, so they declared the winner red corner. Yeah. Everybody freaked out. Blue corner obviously won. Yeah. And so they came back in. The fighters left the ring. Yeah. And the chairman of the ring came in, was trying to calm everybody down. Yeah. He called the fighters back in from the dressing room and declared it a draw. Oh, okay. It was the weird, to see that.
I've seen it a couple of times happen. Yeah. I've seen it happen. I'm not actually happened when Topic fought.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he's American too.
Yeah.
And he was for the title, and he clearly won the fight, and they gave it to the.
I remember seeing it. Yeah, I saw that.
And then they got a rematch straight away, and they ended up winning. So I mean, you can right the wrong, but as we all know, because it's a Thai judge, a Thai fighter in Thailand, you really have to do something pretty special to win that fight to take it away from them. Especially when it's a title belt too. Well, they don't like giving away their belts.
No, especially
unless it's a Patong belt or something.
Yeah, something like the tourist places. Yeah, more touristy places.
Not in Bangkok.
Well, the same thing like in China too. Yep. Yeah, for like you guys, we were talking about China. Yeah. Yep. It's like the same thing. You have to be pretty definitive that you won. I've seen weird stuff like where they're helping the referees helping the guy up. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that in China. Actually, I've seen that in China too.
And you're like, wait, what's going on? And they called a timeout when he got knocked down.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen that. Or he's just gone time. I helped him up. Then he begins to count. What? What's going on here? Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder: is like, are they just that like the same thing with the lack of structure and officiating? You think?
Yeah. Again, it gets back to accountability. Yeah. I mean, if I'm the promoter, I want to make sure that
doesn't happen.
But in places like China and that, I mean, you can see that where you're looking for the promoter when a decision's going on like that, they're nowhere to be seen. Yeah. They know it's going to happen. I mean, they really don't want to see their fighters get beaten. I mean, it's just like anywhere. I mean, I don't want to see my fighters get beaten on my show, but myself and my promoter, that we work together. If it's a close fight against my fighter, and and my fighter has to clearly win for it to be a definitive decision, or I'm going to make sure that the other person gets that decision. I don't want to be known as don't go on their show because they're going to make sure that their fighters always win. And I don't like that. I want to be known as that.
You're a fighter's own harshest critic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like I tell people like I'm like I can referee our guys like some of the stuff, but I'm like judging I'll be biased no matter what because if they would win I'd probably actually go for the other guy. Because I'm so biased on them. Because I know it's like I overcompensate. Yeah. Like with the officials and stuff like that for like a older generation, like maybe people that get into Muay Thai later as like an opportunity for them to be involved in a way in the sport.
Yeah, definitely. But as I said, skills need to be updated. It's like if you're a surgeon, you don't just do one brain and then you think you're the best. You keep updating your skills all the time. To be a coach, as we spoke about, to me, I'm proud to be a sports coach. I went and did a Bachelor of Sports Coaching to be a sports coach to understand the psychology of your fighter better. So why shouldn't referees and judges do the same thing? To me, it should be, I'm not sure if they get paid here, but in Australia they get paid. And to me, getting paid makes it a profession. You're accountable to make sure those decisions are correct. Yeah, and that's what I believe. So to update their skills constantly, it should be definitely.
And I agree. So like the state. Here, like the state for a professional, this is where it's scary. I've been in the commission meetings when my Thai trainer was the one that was responsible for training them, and he was talking about how to handle the clinch and how you have to be closer. These guys come from boxing. He's like, but they're supposed to obey my command. I shouldn't have to put my hands on them. It's like, no. But this is where it's good. Is the old commissioner back then, who's now up in Washington State, said, hey guys, you got to put your donuts down. Yeah. You need to be in shape if you're going to do Muay Thai, if you want to work a Muay Thai event, because it's a different sport. Yeah. And people have to understand this when they come into it. Yeah. And when it comes into updating the credentials, though, there's some people that I would see come into these meetings that need it the most.
Yeah.
But they're like tenured. They'd been around so long.
Yeah.
No one ever had like they couldn't say, hey, you need to learn this shit because they're like below them in boxing.
Yeah.
Right.
Mate.
It sucked to see.
Yeah.
And then you would see this fight happen, like Lion Fight or these other promotions.
Yeah.
And people are like, what happened? Take care, Carlos.
See you, man.
Yeah, they would be like, why is it like this? Oh, it's the promoter. But here, the promoter doesn't have any say in who comes and works at the event. It's all the...
No, it was the same in our... but I'm smart because my show is not run by any sanction. I just do a promotion. So what that means is I can get the best judges that I believe...
And that's allowed legally, or...
Well, no one told me I can't do it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
but people... But eventually I'd like to go with a sanctioning body because I obviously want to get my boys' belts.
More professional.
Yeah, much more professional. But I've got the best judges. You know, I've got a good one from WMC, I've got a good one from WBC, and I've got one from WTB. So I've got 3 best judges, I believe, and everyone knows, yes, we know how to fight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that way then there's nothing,
it makes
unjust.
It consistent.
It's going to be consistent. And a prime example, okay, my fighter was fighting this guy from another gym, and in round 2, my fighter was dominating this guy, but got hit with a spinning elbow, dropped my fighter. Right, now here's a good one. Now they got back up and my fighter continued on and still continued belting this guy, and it's because of the 3-round fight. Now, everyone thought, well, hang on, that should have been either a draw or the other guy should have won. And I thought, why'd you say that? So I went and looked at all the scorecard. Every judge had it, then back to a 9-9 round, because if my fighter was dominating and puts him down, it's not a 10-8 round. If my fighter was getting belted and he got put down, then it's a 10-8 round. But my fighter was winning. But each judge had exactly the same thing. No, your fighter was winning the round. He got put down with an elbow. So now instead of being, a 10-8 round for the other guy, it becomes a drawn round.
Yeah,
and that's how it should be, and that's how it's in Thailand. So, but each judge had exactly the same score. So my fighter still won the fight. He won.
Damn, those are good judges.
Yeah,
that's one of those things. Those are the decisions that get fucked up a lot.
A lot, man. People think, as soon as you get put down, it's automatically 10-8 rounds. But hang on, if you're getting belted or your fighter was dominating and gets put down, then it's null and void.
Yeah, but the other guy basically won back. Basically.
Put it back. But if he was dominating and then put your fighter down, then definitely it's 10-8 round, 100%. So people started questioning it. Then they thought, well, hang on. Then when we explained it to everybody, because actually one of the commentators actually mentioned it, and everyone sort of thought, yeah, you're right. Okay, now we understand. So people start education. Mm-hmm. That's where the problem lies. The education of the coaches, education of the referees and judges.
At the end of the day, it's a martial art.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is art also, because people will say, well, what score is like, how's it judged?
Yeah.
Because you're not scoring, that's a point. No.
Yeah.
You're judging this art that's happening in the ring.
Well, prime example, as I said, like when Chad fought, he fought a stadium fighter. Now, we both know we're talking stadium fighters. They don't start round 1 to go round 5. They start round 3 and 4, and they believe once they win, if they win round 4, they've won the fight.
Yes.
Now, this guy, and I knew that PK Sanchez would do exactly that. They didn't do their homework, and that's what I believe. To me, I think it was their detriment. I did a lot of homework, as did Chad. I'm thinking, well, hang on, this guy only fights in the stadiums, and this is how he fights. So he's not going to be used to someone coming onto him first straight up. And it was good. So, and we were told at the beginning by WBC that they all said that WBC will score Nung, Song, Sam, Si, Ha every round. Not, Sam, Si, and Ha, Yeah. So it was good. It was really good to see. So he got dominated for that particular reason.
Yeah, and that's, like you said, doing homework.
You got to research, mate.
And the education of it. And it's people that are used to this style of judging. They go fight in stadiums and they wonder why the hell they lost.
Yeah, exactly.
And but it's like hey, you're playing the same game, but just slightly different judging criteria.
Yeah, exactly.
And but you don't learn that unless you're going to Thailand and you're bringing people over there. You're actively asking questions. You can speak some Thai, or somebody that can explain it to you, or at camp, like you've been having a relationship with Eminent Air for a long time.
Yeah.
So. With you're saying you were the only Muay Thai gym in the air when you first started. That's like us here.
Yeah.
So we're like where you're at like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like 30 years ago, yeah.
But
so
if people start to come in there, it's good. It's what you want. You want growth.
Yes.
I don't care if there's someone down a kilometre.
No, me either.
It just makes me keep my pencil sharper to make sure that my students are getting the right attention to detail, doing the right things.
Exactly.
Because your students are a reflection of you.
Yes.
So if you've got a student punching like that, someone goes, "Where's he from?" You go, "Well, he's from just around the corner."
They look and they're like, "Oh."
Yeah. So, but if you're training training correctly, I mean, that's up to you and it's up to your coaches. That's why, everyone's accountable in my gym. As I said, we have coaching programs for that specific reason.
That's great, and just from talking about it with you, I was like, like seeing it because we have like something that's based like that.
Yeah.
But then your stuff had like literally it was the next level, but it's because you have another 35 years of experience on it, right?
Yeah.
So like for me, it's cool to like hear that from somebody who's been doing it that long because there's not a lot of resources that are like that.
No.
So I definitely, I'm glad to hear that you're like passing on through these courses and stuff like that to other people.
Back in the early days, like George would know, we got our information. Tim would send me magazines from Thailand, and you couldn't read a word of it. You look at the pictures and you go, right, what's he doing there? And then we get the old VHS or old beta videos, and you plug them in, and it'll be all grainy fights. You think, oh man! And I've got fight videos that I reckon I've watched hundreds of times just to replay. Oh, replay that kick. Oh, that kick. That's what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how I learnt my way. And then going over there just to reiterate that point, they were making sure that I was doing the right thing. Which is good.
And it's for us, it was like the same thing, but we had the video CDs.
See?
So the video CDs, but it wasn't a DVD player.
Modern technology.
Yeah, but now everybody's got YouTube and stuff.
Man, everyone's got YouTube channel. I mean, they're on their phones. They've got their phone set up in the corner while they're doing pad rounds. You're thinking, what? They would. Back in the day, back in the 90s, they wouldn't allow that to happen.
No, they'd be like, what are you doing?
What are you doing,
Yeah.
But so it's now that it's very easily accessible,
And that's where, but when people ask me, where do I watch it? I'm like, do you know what the internet is?
Yeah.
Like, you're younger than me. Come on, man.
Yeah. Just watching them on the phone, just sit there. I mean, I would watch probably upward of 4 to 6 hours of Muay Thai fights a week. When I finish in the morning, I go home. Sometimes I watch fights, and it's obviously for research for my fighters and that as well, or just fights. Everyone said, "Oh, you should have seen this fight. Watch this fight." And you'll watch. Oh, geez, how do you get him with that? So I just, and good. You can pause, look at it, start writing down a few little points. Just so I can start working those things myself. Because education, as you know, I mean, if you think you know it all, get out of the sport.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I learn off my students as you do, and my fighters as well.
You learn off everybody.
Because you like prime examples. You can go to certain gyms, even in Bangkok. If you go to say Sipmonchai, they're going to be big punches and low kickers.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're short, tall. All right. I don't believe in that. If I've got somebody that's short and tall, I want, if someone who's 6'3", I'm not going to teach them to do that. I want to get them to go jab, step up, knee, or teep, and use that along. So I try to work with the body structures that we've got. So there's no real, but we do, clinching is probably what we're known mainly for.
But it's probably one of the things that most Western gyms lack in too. I feel.
Yeah.
Like with clinching, so it's smart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like just in general.
Look, you can get someone that can punch and kick really good, but as soon as you can wrap hold of their neck, mate, I've seen guys that weigh 48 to 50 kilos grab hold of my neck and you think, "Ooh, let go, man! You're hurting me."
Lock on. I can't get a massage later; they're closed.
Yeah. And you think, how am I getting him off? So there's levels to this sport, of the art. There is big levels to it. And a lot of gyms, especially in our area, we know if we're fighting a certain gym, we can go, okay, we're going to clinch, get in there and clinch, just get in there and clinch, lock on. He's going to throw big bombs, just get in there, lock him in, walk through with your long guard, lock on, and go to work. You got it. And as soon as they start to push, get off me, and things like that, you think, got it.
It's like there's like the international sign if I don't know how to clinch is like
that's
the hips back and the hands come down.
Or they're trying to pull away like that.
Yeah, they try to dip their head down. You're like, hey.
Yep.
That's like no man's land, man. You can die, literally.
Yeah, but clinching is a different art. It's you're either good at it or you're not, and we'd like to be good at it.
It's part of the sport.
It is. Like most nights, as I said, my fighters will probably get in there. Obviously, you go for their run, they come in and do shadow. few minutes, and then they're usually doing 5 threes on the bag, 5 threes on the pads, and then they'll clinch for 20 to 30. But on a Friday afternoon, we do nothing but clinch. It'll be an hour of clinching and Dutch drills.
Nice.
Yeah, just to break up a little bit.
Yeah, but you just focus heavy on clinching, then do some programming.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
It's like the recipe is interesting. You mentioned the integration of Dutch drills and stuff like that too. Like, how often is somebody that's in like a development, like you were talking about teens, like if they're like, I want to compete, how often are they competing? In an ideal situation.
I would say between 8 to 10 times a year. Because, again, they've got all these little abnormalities in there, being school, work, and things like that.
Much less being a teenager.
Yeah, and being a teenager, they're not going to be in the gym all the time. They're going to be with, or they've discovered girls, or vice versa. They've discovered boys. And you think, I've got somebody here, and also my girlfriend. I just got a girlfriend. So, look, if I get somebody good like that, 8 to 10 times a year, it would be comfortable for them. I wouldn't say any more than that. And then you'll know, as they get older, do they want to do a little bit more? Because as I said, I'm not a pusher. I don't like to push people into the sport. And they'll get a hunger for it themselves, or they won't.
Hey, guys. This is Ed's wife, Luis. This is Doctor.
Hello.
So this is Mark.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Yes. So, with like going back onto that, with your fighters and like for the teens, being able to fight like you said 8 to 10 times a year. So then for like your professional fighters who are like entry level professional fighters, like let's say entry level professional fighters, they start fighting professional, they're doing this full time. How often would you want them competing?
Okay, now that depends on how well they recover from each fight. Because as you know, once you take the pads off, it's a different ball game. Injuries. Okay, prime example, Chad fought, I think he fought in May, August, September, October, November, and December. Virtually 4 weeks apart. Now, some of them were lucky because we'd fly to Japan and they'd be a K1 fight, kickboxing fight. And then, which means he didn't have to worry about his knees, so we changed the whole structure of his fight plan. So if he had a banged up right leg, which is what he's got now, from when he fought in November for the world title, he got banged up. Even though he won the fight comfortably, he was the type boy. The type boy throws big kicks, so he was checking kicks, and then he would vice versa, bringing them up. So he got a really banged up top right shin. So when he fought in Japan 3 weeks later, he did not throw his right kick. He threw his left leg only and hands, and the volume was ridiculous. The amount, it was non-stop, like bam, bam, bam. At one point, he's looked at me when he's hitting this gentleman, and he's going, "What do you want me to do now?" I'm going, "I to look at him and continue." But not once did he throw his right leg. It was all left leg stuff, so he kept him bay. But he's got a very good fight IQ. He knows what to do and when to do it.
That's very high fight IQ to be able to adjust like that at a high level into a different sport.
So every time old mate to throw a low kick, he would cross-check it. And normally we frown upon cross-checking, from the back.
Yeah, because it's not proper.
It's not proper, So, but it's each to their own.
Yeah, it made it happen. It's really amazing to see like what you're doing with your team and stuff like that too. Because I've been following you guys since like I think just before COVID stuff.
Okay.
I've been following your guys' team and how it's grown, and then having the pleasure of running into you in Bangkok. Like, as luck would have it, I'm going to be in your town, Jim. What the hell? All right, awesome. Yeah. So, what brings you out here to like Ventura County? Okay,
well, I've got a really good friend, Ash Day, who owns a weed farm here. It's legal here in America. It's not legal in Australia.
Yeah.
And we've known each other through Muay Thai for about 30 years. He used to train with me in the early days.
Oh, shit. Okay. That's how you guys
That's how we know each other.
Right.
So he trained with me for a couple of years, both young at the time. And then he went off and did his thing, but we kept in contact. Every now and again, he'd come back and he'd do a lesson with me, and then he'd go on again. He'd be in Japan, and he'd come back and do another lesson with me. So we touched fully again in about 2018, really connected. And then we came over in 2019 to have a look at bringing some fighters over here to see if we could get in. But as I said, we had
Michigan, right?
Went to Michigan, but we, people were nothing. It was all boxing commission. They had no idea about the laws of Muay Thai and regulations or anything like that sort of thing. And I could, my solicitor said the same thing. She couldn't see anything changing fast. So, and it's obviously still that same point. But look, hopefully one day we'll be able to bring a team over here to fight and so forth. It would be really, really good because you can just see that especially in the last 2 to 3 years, that the American Muay Thai is starting to grow. Yeah, which is really good to see.
Yeah, it's to see and I think that comes into accessibility of education.
Sure.
And people being able to see, like we're talking about these shows at like Rotterdam and Lumpini.
Sure.
Where it's like now the Western audience, it's easier for them to see it.
Sure.
And they're starting to see the path a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's like the pro of that, like you're saying, you guys more opportunities.
Yeah, there's opportunities, and people want that sort of thing. Like, back when I was first training, you wouldn't get that. You'd be in a country stadium somewhere. Whereas now you can get guys that have had 13 fights, go to a good gym and train, and get that call up to fight on a promotion like Fairtex Fight Promotion. So it's made it accessible for them, which has helped him get more sponsors. Which is now he's going back to Thailand for 6 months. So, and he's a physiotherapist, so he will get work anywhere anyway. Yeah. But, the growth of that young man, it's phenomenal in 12 months because he had the opportunity to be at Adair and then to be on the Fairtex Fight Promotion and then to be asked back on the Fairtex Fight Promotion. It was,
and now they're doing the Road to One.
Road to One,
it's good. Like now you can see with
there's pathways, and that's what it's like. As a coach, what was my pathway? My gym mantra for this year was, my vision was to be number one gym again. And as I said, I want everyone to believe. So what's your vision? To dominate. What's the end goal? To be number one. So that's the mantra on the wall in my gym at the present stage.
You heard it here. It's nice.
But, we got Gym of the Year last year. So, there's only one way I can go. I can either stay there or I'm going to go back downwards. Yeah. So we really want to dominate again, and that's what we want to do. So, we want to set the standards that everyone else, we get other fighters that want to come down and do rounds with my fighters for that particular reason. We want to be like these guys. We want to be strong and hard like these guys. So, I'll always open my doors because I believe it's not a secret. Mm-hmm. Okay, prime example. If you wanted to go and play football here, you can't go and train with the LA Rams.
Yeah.
You
can't come in.
But I can go and train with Sancho, and Sancho can be doing pads beside me, or he'll clinch with me. You know what I mean? It's one of the only sport in the world where you get the pinnacle training with the not so.
With the day one.
Exactly.
Day one
and
person.
That's what's so accessible about the sport. It's no secret. I want people to get better in the sport because if they get better, we get more people to the show. My fighters will improve, means we'll get more opportunities overseas, interstate, and things like that. So it's educating my fighters and coaches to get to that level and helping other fighters do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to see that kind of come up. We do a lot of that too. We have to.
Yeah.
It's like, I need a sparring partner that's this size. Man, we don't have anybody like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we have our friend that's down to LA. Hey, we'll go drive down to LA. Yeah. Or, hey, do you guys want to come up to the beach for the day on a Saturday?
Well, if you have a look at my gym on a Saturday morning, like my gym...
Full.
It's full.
And I've seen your videos.
Yeah, the lives. It's like sometimes I've got 5 or 6 different gyms. Can we come down? Yeah. How many are you bringing? I've got 2. Next thing they rocked up with 8. Oh God. So I try and keep the pinnacle in the big ring. I have three groups in there and one to the side ring, but the rest of the people we're just doing. All right.
Fun with fighting.
Yeah, fighting somebody, but also watching who's behind them and beside them as well. So.
Yeah, but kind of going into what you're saying about wanting to be voted number one gym again, coach, what do you think that's going to take to stay there?
Okay.
I'm getting fucking motivated talking to you.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
One, you got to be motivated. I have to be motivated because every time I walk into my gym, it doesn't matter what's happening outside. As soon as I walk through that door and open that door, I've got to put the game face on because it rubs off on me to my fighters and so forth. So if I come in with a high positive, motivating attitude, they're going to have it as well. So they're going to want to train harder. And some of the guys that are in the gym, like I'm a big believer of, I don't have a numero uno fighter. Mm. You're all as far as you're all the same. So I've got Chad Collins helping someone that's had 3 fights out. I've got Jayden Eynaud just helping a female, in the clinch and things like that. So everyone gets around, but they all get their attention as well. So does it rub off? I believe it rubs off. So if I can get everyone on the same mindset, and the mindset's the key. If they've got a powerful, strong, believable mindset, because I know you might want it, but do you really believe you can get it?
Yeah.
So if you can match your beliefs and your wants together, and I like people to walk into I've seen them at times. They're walking from work and you can see a sullen look on their face, and I go, whoop, hang on. Come here, what's wrong? Okay, listen, either do one or two things. Put the game face on or get out that door, because everyone's here is positive. So it's all about the positive mindset.
Yeah, so you catch that at the door too, huh?
100%.
Yeah, it's one of those things that...
I'm good at picking that straight away. Even if they don't and they put on a smile, I can tell by body language and think, hang on, we've had a bad day over here, better go. And to be honest, it's usually, I won't throw names out because someone might listen to it.
Sure.
But, I can pick it straight away. I won't work with them and get another coach to work with them, or I'll just make sure that I've nutted it quite quickly.
Yeah, it's important, especially it's like from the rest of your team.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to protect the team from that.
Because as I said, I put that up. I put that up on January 2. I walked into the gym and said, vision for 2023 was to dominate. End goal to be number one. So that's not only for me, that's for them as well. So they've got to look at that and think, okay, well, if the coaches think, I've got to be thinking like that. And that's what I want them to do. I mean, we go to a fight show and say, I don't want my fighter sitting at the back just lazing around waiting for something. Mate, I want something. I want motivation. I want people talking. I want giving him positive affirmations, giving it to him. I want him to believe that he can do what he wants. Because once you can match, as I said, the beliefs and wants together, man, anything can happen.
No, that goes into a lot of like the performance and stuff too. Like you were saying, like you went to school for coaching. And stuff that took me a lot. Like you're saying, a lot of stuff that like ticks the boxes when you think about the mental prep for a fighter. Yeah. Right, and a lot of people miss that.
Well, we got certain KPIs, key performance indicators, right, that we work with to make sure that you walk into your gym, and if I can spot that thing, the indicators, that's a prime example. If I can spot that and get onto that quickly, they're not going to get in there and it's toxicity. And if that spreads into the next person, you're having a bad, I don't want to clinch you, go away. It's not what we're about. Because if you've got an elite fight team and they start doing things like that, you want positivity. And I look at a lot of other coaches from other sports, like from basketball, and I'm actually I've got an audio book now by a very good rugby coach, Eddie Jones, from Australia, and he talks about how he watches and listens from other coaches just to pick up ideas, not necessarily on how to train the fighter, but or what they're doing in their sport, but how to be a coach, how to understand. And these things are good, man.
I just started reading one. We think about coaching books. My friend recommended it to me. It's called The Art and Science of Running by Jack Daniels.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a PhD. Funny name, right?
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. He talks about like the art and science and motivation, how to approach everyone to having a hard day, and how to work around that, and the positivity.
Because anybody can hold pads. Yeah. To be able to be a coach, you've got to understand what your fighter, how they work, what they like, what they don't like. And if I see them walk through the door and there's something not quite right,
you just got in a fight with your wife at home, huh? It's like you can.
Or I've had a bad day at work. Yeah. One of them, might be late getting home from work and got into the gym 3/4 of an hour late. You can just see the anxious, not happy. You think, well, hang on, I've got to attend to this. If I don't attend to it, it's going to spread, and that's not what we're about. You've got to. It's all about positive, and that mindset. It's the key. It's 100% the key.
For sure. Well, kind of wrapping things up. We covered a lot in 45 minutes. That's why I was like, we just need to pull the mic out, man. How can people find you?
We're on Instagram at Strikeforce. I think it's Strikeforce Muay Thai Australia on Instagram.
I'll make sure to find it and put it in the show notes.
Yeah, and we're on Facebook as well. But we also do promotions for Good Fight Promotions as well, and that's War on the Shore.
War on the Shore.
Yeah, in Australia as well. So.
Yeah, you were saying your first one was in 2001.
I think it might have been a little bit earlier. I think it might have been a little bit earlier. So I think we've done about 25 shows in total.
Nice.
But as I said before, I'm a big believer. We go to too many shows that are in basketball stadiums or little RSL. So they're not really, even though it might be a fantastic fight card, it doesn't really have their presence. So we've gone to the casino and we've got, we sell packages, like big tables with great 3-course meals, so you can take your family out to dinner, watch some good fights, and stay in the casino if they're not going to a show afterwards, and stay there for the evening, and then wake up and have breakfast there. So without having to go anywhere.
To relax, vacation on top.
So just taking it to the next level.
You were telling me a little bit about that, and I think it's amazing that you're doing that, because then it really kind of normalizes that as like part of the entertainment for the weekend.
Well, I can sell better packages to sponsors that way too.
Yes. Yeah, they like that too, right?
They love it, man.
Yeah, they're doing
100%.
Well, awesome. Well, I really appreciate the time.
Mate, no problem at all.
Georgia, thanks for letting us take the time to do this. Yeah, I'm sure. I was like, hey, I think I see it'll be a little bit. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
That's all right, man. No problems at all.
All right, that's it today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys are listening on iTunes, please go leave a review. It means the world to me if you enjoy the content, if you like hearing about all the stuff that has to do with Muay Thai and what we're doing.